welcome to the episode of Chad and Henry's Beer Reviews. Henry's here, that's why we call it Chad and Henry's Beer Reviews.
Glad to be here. And the name recognition helps.
Yeah. This is all Henry's beer, so I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce it and describe it or whatever.
Well, once upon a time when I was drinking on tour, my 50th beer, not in the same day, remember, moderation, was Kelpy. Kelpy is a special beer. It comes from this brewery that makes ancient druid beer and other sorts of traditional ales. It says prior to the 1850s, there were many Scottish coastal alehouses which brewed their own ales. These ales were made from local malted barley, which was grown on fields fertilized with seaweed. This environment gave the barley a very specific flavor, which we have recreated by the inclusion of fresh seaweed in the mash tun. Seaweed, bladderwrack, taken fresh from the water on the Argyll coast, is mashed in with the malted and roasted barley. Kelpy is a rich chocolate ale which has an aroma of fresh sea breeze and a distinctively malty texture. Very interesting. And it's 4.4% alcohol by volume.
Alright, so we're going to pour this and we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. This beer is black as can be. It looks like
black as night on a moonless night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the bottom down here, I do see a little bit of ruby red in the sun. But
yeah, maybe just as the sun goes through, a tiny bit of red at the bottom.
Yeah,
you've got a little more head than I do, but kind of a brown head on top.
Nah, that's like a tan. It's not that dark.
Now that's an aroma.
It smells like a good ale. It's kind of like a stout kind of smell.
But a little different. I don't know that it smells like a sea breeze, as they say on the bottle, but there's definitely something different about it. Almost salty.
Having been out to sea for 5 years, I can say that this does have kind of a sea breeze kind of aroma to it.
Here's to something different.
Oh, yeah. Up front, it's like mild, but it finishes like a rich chocolatiness. It's really weird.
Rolling that around the tongue, it has a unique and unmistakable flavor that I'm going to have to chalk up to the seaweed. It's almost a bitter green, almost chlorophyll-y taste. It's not very salty, though probably saltier than your average beer.
It's like a very thin, mild stout.
Yeah.
It's like noticeably light in the mouth. Not watery, just...
Right. It's a gentle stout. The carbonation is not extreme. It's a very mild carbonation. But it has a softness. I don't want to say slimy, because this is definitely not slimy, but it sort of reminds me of the slipperiness of seaweed.
Yeah. In
the mouth. It's got that sort of soft, slippery mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's very drinkable, quaffable. Yeah. I could suck this whole thing down in like one slug.
I could too. This this could go right down, and at 4.4%, a little bit milder than a lot of other beers we might be drinking.
Yeah. And the chocolate finish is, it's not, some beers they're chocolatey at first and they kind of peter out. It's sticking with it here.
Yeah, it's not chocolate up front. Like you say, it's chocolate in the finish. It's a mild chocolate, but it is a definite chocolate. More chocolate than some stouts are, in fact.
It reminds me of a milk stout.
You know, it's funny that you say that. When I commented on this...
It's got that sweetness.
Right, it's slightly sweet, and the saltiness that I said is a little bit more than normal. You remember previously we reviewed the Moo Thunder,
right? And
there was a little bit of a saltiness to it that Stacy mentioned from over yonder. And this has those qualities. Definitely different. This is a unique beer.
Yeah. And it has a lot of flavor, though. I mean, if you if I drank this blind and then you told me after the fact it was made with seaweed, I probably wouldn't believe you. I mean, don't let that scare you off, because like when Henry told me about it, I was just like, I don't know, but
Seaweed beer. What?
yeah, there's no fishy quality or.
No. Not fishy.
I mean, you keep mentioning kind of a salty quality. I disagree. I don't really find anything salty.
It's mild. There is a mild, almost non-hop bitter. I used the word chlorophyll early in this review, and I don't know how else to explain it, but there's a sort of bitter non-hop quality in the finish that lingers, almost like some leafy greens would. It's not overpowering, it's not overwhelming, and it's not gross. It's good.
It's not a very bitter beer at all. It's
right.
Very smooth, tasty. I like the chocolate finish. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be more of like a sessional beer, considering it's only 4.4 ABV. So it's very
so
light
smooth.
body.
Very smooth.
This is a good alternative to your more robust stout. Yeah. I like it. I'd probably give this an 8. I think it's a very good beer.
Yeah, I'm going to join you. I'm torn between a 7 and an 8 on this beer. But due to the novelty, I got to give it an 8. It's bringing something different to the table that other beers don't.
All right, I guess that about wraps it up for this episode of Chad and Henry's Beer Reviews. I guess I should just call them that from now on, since you're here like every other day.
Well, I do enjoy reviewing beers, as I was saying with Chad before, in a sort of love fest. This is a good opportunity to share unique and novel beers with friends. Whether it's a review with Chad or if we get a third guest on here or whatever. And I really enjoy this and look forward to it, and I especially look forward to reading all of your comments out there.
One last thing, what was the price on this?
Under $5, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 something. Not bad for 16 ounces.
Yeah, a good deal. I'd recommend it. So, go check out Kelpy Seaweed Ale by, what was it called? Heather Brewing?
Yeah, I had to look for that.
Out of Scotland. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, folks.
Bye.
Don't forget to have an amount of it.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.